I often hear an excuse to weight loss that goes something like this: I just hate cooking. If that's you, I used to be you, but there are actually some other things going on that are keeping you from at least somewhat enjoying cooking, and we are going to talk about that today. Hey, welcome to the Kingdom Fit Moms podcast, where we believe that you can go on a journey to lose weight for the last time. I know you've tried all the things and you may not believe me yet, but when you do weight loss the Kingdom Fit Moms way, everything changes. You are in the right place if weight is constantly on your mind, you're confused about food, you're missing out on memories, and maybe even putting your dreams off for another day because this weight struggle is no joke. We're a community and we're on a mission to invite God into this weight loss journey so you can shed the burden and shine your light. I want you to start living and believing in the version of yourself that heaven sees. Let's get started. Okay, it's your daily dose of Fit Moms wins, or your weekly dose, however often you're tuning in. But I love to share how Fit Moms are winning practically in their weight loss journey. Sometimes it's through the scale moving, sometimes it's what's happening in their family. But I just think the more that you can hear positive outcomes, the more you can realize that all of us are able to get unstuck, no matter how many times we failed in the past. There is a redemption story that's being created in your life and mine, and that includes with your struggle with weight. And so this Fit Mom said, hello, I started really focusing on my weight loss mid-March, and today I am down 10 pounds from the day I started tracking my weight. It reminds me that the little choices I'm making do add up. Now to pack my cooler of food for a day of watching my boys' baseball game so I can stay on track. So that's so encouraging. Way to go, Fit Mom. We are totally celebrating you. And isn't it just amazing how sometimes we overcomplicate this whole process and we feel like we have to do the hardest diet plans, we have to count all the things, do the, crazy gym routines, when actually things like packing our bags for a baseball game make a huge difference. So way to go, and thanks for encouraging our entire community. Hey mama, are you guilty of spending your precious dollars on yet another fad diet, only to find yourself in the exact same shoes a few months later, maybe even with some extra pounds from where you began? I used to search for the solution to weight loss, was stuck in systems of counting calories, macros, cutting out carbs, feeling enslaved to whatever popular program my friends recommended. I even tried metabolism boosters in hopes of seeing the scale drop quickly. Not to mention, I would spend hours in the gym, burning as many calories as possible so I could have my late night chocolate binge guilt-free, or at least I wouldn't see the scale jump up. I was in this perpetual cycle of needing to do more so I could eat more, and then feeling like I couldn't eat what I needed during the day because I had to save up calories. I hit my breaking point and thought, there has got to be a better way. I repented for trying to do it on my own and following the world's man-made systems of eating, and then I spent the next decade and more discovering the most freeing way to live, filling my body with God's foods, changing my heart to want to live abundantly healthy, and learning how to invite God into the journey and heal from why the struggle existed in the first place. The best part is now I get to lead a movement of mamas who are doing the exact same thing. I've left my full-time career as a physician assistant, and I've created a program that teaches women just like you how to break out of the diet cycle and lose weight for the last time. Are you ready to be a part of our movement and break up with that silly restriction mindset once and for all? If so, hop down to kelseywickenhauser.com/join to get started inside of Fit Moms Academy today. That's kelseywickenhauser.com/join. I'll see you inside our tribe. So I've been married to my husband for, I better get this right, almost 13 years, 12 years. And we've known each other. We were just talking about this the other day. It's been 20 years because I met him when I was in high school. And needless to say, I know him very well. And yet, we got married, and right after we got married, my husband was in grad school. We lived in St. Louis, which is such a fun season. And I discovered in those first few years of marriage that my husband was a great cook, and I had known him for a while before that. So he he met some friends through physical therapy school who were really into cooking and cooking good food. Like I remember having a potato salad that he made. You know, I was always used to potato salad with like mustard mayo, and I was not really a fan. But he made this potato salad that he learned from his friends. They would like get together and cook for relief from studying, I guess. And he made it with vinegar, olive oil. I'm trying to think what was in it. Onions. I don't even know. It was good. If I find the recipe, I'll ask him. I'll put it in the show notes. But it was like real food potato salad. And I fell in love all over again. And since then, he just really has a knack for putting together good meals. So that was a fun surprise. And I personally, I really used to dread cooking. And I'm wondering if you can relate to any of these reasons, like I had. You know, when I went to college, I knew how to make very little, and then I lived in a dorm for most of the time. And then if we cooked anything, the year I lived in a house, it was like, frozen stuff in the oven. And I really had to learn a lot of this. Even at PA school, I started to learn because a lot of my friends were actually very into health, and I learned a lot from them. And then I just had a lot of trial and error over time and learned from my husband. But I really feared failure when it came to cooking. And I was afraid of wasting my money and wasting my time and nobody liking what I cooked. And I think this is really common for moms because you don't want to spend all this time cooking and then your kids complain, right? And then having leftovers that don't get eaten. So I'm wondering if you can relate to any of those. I used to feel all of those things. Usually the I hate cooking mindset, it stems from a lack of confidence, just not knowing what you're doing. And so we use that as an excuse to say, I hate it. I don't want to do it. I'm no good at it. But actually, we just need to help build some confidence. It can also stem from having too many things on your schedule. So it's like, it's a good thing. You want to cook, but there's no margin for it. So you just make an excuse of, I just hate it. I don't want to do it. Then it's easier to order food because you've already committed to hating cooking, right? And then I think oftentimes the I hate cooking, it stems from seeing food as a nuisance instead of seeing it as a necessity to sustain us. So there is a mindset shift that has to happen that we'll talk through today. So we want to help you to worship while you cook. And one of our fit moms in our community, Jess, she's an amazing leader. She really exemplifies this and is even teaching some of our fit moms inside of our fit moms community how she has really stepped into and owned this mindset to help transform her into walking in freedom. Because when you can learn to love to cook and cook with real food, it's a major advantage to you, right? You're not relying on anyone else, and it becomes something that you avoid instead of dread. So we want to help you to enjoy spending time in the kitchen. So the first piece of the puzzle that we have to help you to lean into is that food is medicine. This mindset is just absolutely key and is forgotten or neglected in most of our education. And it's really a shame, right? What if in school, understanding real food was a huge part of what we learned? It literally sustains us, and yet we don't hardly learn anything about it in our general, government-led education. Real food, having good real food as a part of life, that it's just such a pivotal shift in your mindset. It's more important than being 100 places with your kids because it's literally our sustenance. And so this is a rearranging of priorities of saying, I need the best medicine for me. I'm either going to pay now, either with my time, energy, money, to make real food happen, or I'm probably going to be paying later in the forms of medicine that I didn't want, or unnecessary diagnoses, disease, etc. So seeing real food as medicine is key and will help you to get into that mindset of worship. Because when you realize that God, He gives us all that we need through the world, through creation, to help our bodies to work really well, it's amazing. And there are many ways to learn this. Maybe you're like, well, I have no idea what that even looks like. Okay, well, then start reading and start immersing yourself in it. Go get the Daniel plan. Go get It Starts with Food. Go get Body by God. Go start reading some of these books and start really getting an understanding for why real food is so cool. And again, a big mindset that we have here in Kingdom Fit Moms is we want to restore the glory of God in real food. Okay, so I could go on and on about that, but hopefully you get the idea. So the second thing that's going to help you to worship while you cook is to remember that food creates community. This is back in Bible times, right? We see that people sat down over a meal and had conversation and got to know each other and even cooked together. Real food creates community. It allows us to sit down and get to know each other at a heart level. And it also creates a sense of bonding when we make food together. It creates, especially if you have kids and you're teaching them to make real food with you, it creates an identity that's so important that, hey, we cook. Hey, this is a part of life. This has kind of become a lost art in our culture, right? I mean, even if you look at 50 years ago, everyone made homemade meals. You didn't go out to eat all the time. You didn't have frozen meals. It was just a part of life that we cook. And so we have lost that. And I think a lot of that has also been linked to, losing that sense of community in our home and within our neighborhoods and within our friendships, that this is just a place we want to be in the kitchen and co-creating with the Lord. Okay, so the next little piece of advice I have for worshiping while you cook is that if you don't make time in the kitchen a priority, unless you want to outsource this, which we could talk about in another way, there are people who have cooking businesses, or you can get meals delivered to home if absolutely necessary. But if you don't make time in the kitchen a priority for the general population, you won't maintain your weight loss goals. Okay? I'm just going to be honest. It's very, very hard to anyway. So settle in. This is a part of life. There has to be a shift to I cook. I enjoy cooking. I'm going to make it work. And again, in every generation in the past, this was a part of life and a beautiful, beautiful part of life that we've lost. And then look at our overall health, how that has shifted. It's horrible, right? Like, we don't honor worshiping in the kitchen as part of our lives. We grumble like, oh, I have to spend time cooking, versus I get to fuel my family and myself in a beautiful way. There's a shift into gratitude that just will really bless your weight loss journey when you can do that. Okay, the next thing just to remember as you are chopping up your vegetables and as you are, making a fruit salad or looking at beans and how they grow, whatever it is that you are making, consider the variety of food that God has made. And again, this is where when you study real food and you understand the beautiful complexities of how foods work together to create life, you cannot help but worship your Creator, because there's just no way that all of this would be given to us for no good reason. And yet we replace it with Skittles and Doritos and pop and all this stuff that's just man-made garbage that we're literally putting sludge in our machine. I have a friend who is very good at herbalism, and she's been teaching me a lot, even about weeds, what we call weeds in our yard, and how they're actually, they have properties that can help heal our bodies. And so learning about all the intricacies of how we can partner with the earth and grow food that will sustain us and bless our bodies, you cannot help but worship. So go study it. Find people. If you need suggestions, you can ask in our Kingdom Fit Moms community on Facebook. It's free. Like, hey, how have you been learning more about real food and how has this blessed you? Okay. Now, the last thing I'll say, if you're like me at the beginning and you are just genuinely not a good cook, I bet you have a friend that is, or maybe your mom or a mentor or somebody. So I want to encourage you to go spend time with them and immerse yourself in their kitchen. You can learn. It is not too late to start this and to make this a norm in your home. And again, you get to change the legacy in your home around cooking too, which is a powerful legacy. Like, it's more important than a lot of the other legacies that we put on a pedestal, right? Of maybe being the best athlete or getting my kids amazing grades or whatever. I mean, all that's great, but it's not literally sustaining our lives, okay? Maybe you don't like cooking because you feel inadequate, so it's become a cop-out. Or maybe you need more margin in your life. Start being around people who are doing the thing and praise God that He gives us sustenance. We get to co-create with Him using real food. How amazing. So I pray that you feel encouraged to start your cooking journey or to ramp up your cooking journey and to use it for worship. Put on some music that you love and just thank God as you are chopping and getting the opportunity to feed your family. Okay, that's all for today, Kingdom Fit Moms. Remember to keep shedding the burden and shine your light. Hey Fit Mom, if this episode blessed you today and you can think of somebody else who's struggling in her weight loss journey, would you consider sharing this week's episode with her to give her a sense of hope? And then while you're at it, hop on over to our free Facebook community, Kingdom Fit Moms, for daily encouragement and support. Let's go shed the weight to shine the light.